Danish biotech company Zealand Pharma has made a deal with a German company, Boehringer, and it's a deal potentially worth 2.8 billion Danish kroner. And David Solomon, what is the big potential, do you think, for that for your company, for Zealand Pharma?
Well, it's a very, very strong agreement with Boehringer Ingelheim of Ingelheim, Germany. They're a leading pharmaceutical company, a new major player in the diabetes space. We can achieve milestone revenue of 2.8 billion Danish crowns. In the first 2 years alone, 300 million Danish crowns. So we're very excited by the financial opportunity. 100% of the cost of this will be borne by Boehringer, so our risk is reduced. They are very good at developing drugs. They just took a new diabetes drug to the market, sinagliptide, which is approved in the US and in Europe. They just did a very impressive deal with Eli Lilly. So we have a very nice partner, a very exciting new drug, and another deal with for Zealand that validates our business model.
And we're in the area of diabetes 2 and obesity, and this is a huge area and growing practically in every region of the world. But you already have another agreement as well with Sanofi Aventis. Can you be sure there's no conflict of interests between these two agreements?
These are separate agreements. Sanofi is taking our discovered drug, lixisenatide, a profile very similar to Victoza, to the market. They will register this drug for an approval in Europe later this year. That is a separate drug, a separate license than we have with Boehringer. So there's no overlap, although the type 2 market is very large and some of the patients will benefit from both types of drugs.
But could there be an overlap in the future, maybe, if you make some interesting new discoveries, which you were hinting at before? Maybe could it be easy for you to say to which side it should fall?
Sure. No, the actual molecule is significantly different. The molecule with Sanofi of France is based on a GLP-1 sequence, and the agreement with Boehringer of Germany is based on a glucagon or so-called oxyntomodulin backbone, so a very different base. But the diabetes patients are very heterogeneous, and we will be able to address many different patients with diabetes by both of these agreements. It shows that Zealand is leading the effort in discovering these drugs and moving them with good partners to the market.
So you said over the next 2 years, 300 million kroner they come rolling in. And what is the time frame for the entire deal that you just made?
Well, it's early days, so it's all the way through the patent life of the drugs in question. We have given a global license to Boehringer for 2929. We have patent applications that have been filed. We also will do collaborative work with them, where they will, together with us, discover new molecules based on this dual-acting hypothesis. So we can't give you the exact timelines. It's early, but this is a very exciting agreement.
And there's also a royalty deal inside this, and it's not quite clear how much it is. It's a sort of a high one-digit number.
It averages a low double-digit number overall. The royalty will kick in once the drug is being sold. Many drugs in the diabetes space, like our lixisenatide with Sanofi, may achieve blockbuster potential, and therefore the royalty payments would be a very strong financial upside for Zealand and for Zealand shareholders.
Just now, Takeda in Japan has got some problems, can we call it, with their drug access. Is that something that you in this company, in your company, will benefit from? Or are you too far away from where you want to be?
Well, it's a very different approach, the approach of Takeda and others. So while we watch this carefully and we clearly understand there are risks in diabetes drugs, we believe that our class of drug is a fairly safe class. But again, clinical studies in patients together with our partner will prove whether that's true.
2.8 billion kroner. Do you think that says anything about the Danish biotech sector? Is it more risk now? Do investors take more risk now than they used to?
Well, biotech is a risky investment because drug development, discovery is difficult, and there are failures along the way. But what I would say is that with new companies to the stock market like Zealand Pharma that are very close to revenue, lower risk, that we're approaching a different business model in many cases with companies like Zealand, and that they will be revenue-bearing companies shortly. Zealand's guidance is that we will be durably profitable in 2014, not so long after our IPO. I believe this also signals there's the possibility of a second generation of biotech companies that are publicly listed in both Denmark and in Europe that may interest investors. Again, high risk, but the reward is also there.
So Zealand will continue in Denmark. There's no question of that.
We are a Danish company. We're so proud of it. I'm so very proud of the efforts of all of our employees, near 100 people. Many of them have been with the company the full 12 plus years, and we continue to hopefully be a strong Danish company contributing to the Danish economy.
And you listed on the stock market just half a year ago or so in November, but actually the stock price, the share price have dropped some since then. Do you think this is why should investors take this hint to go into the share now?
Well, it's a challenging stock market environment in general, globally and in Denmark, of course. The liquidity, in other words, the number of shares trading is very small, so the price perhaps does not fully reflect the value of Zealand Pharma going forward. But I think that if you look at the share price, it's outperformed other of our peers over the last several months. And I think for investors, this is a good time to enter Zealand as a shareholder, insofar as I think we have some very good opportunities for revenue going forward.
And what about the Danish biotech sector as a whole? Do you think you're representative of that at the moment?
Well, we're very pleased to be among some very strong peers. I think that like all sectors, there are first generations and second generations, and I count ourselves to be a company of the next generation of biotech companies where we reduce risk constantly. We aim on a revenue model, and the revenue in the short term, which I believe will be beneficial for investors and shareholders.
David Solomon, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.